I'm Amanda. So I'm thinking we'll do some core and some nice hip openers today. So we're gonna kind of get warmed up, get a nice flow going, and then really take it down a notch and get some nice slow holds in for our hips. So go ahead and meet me lying on the lower back with your forearms down. Lift the feet up so your legs are at a 90-degree angle. Tuck the tail. Keep squeezing knees and ankles together. Be mindful that you're not slouching into the chest. Kind of lift up. Use your hands to help stabilize yourself, and just the legs are going to move. So slowly keeping the legs together, drop the knees over to the right, and then exhale up. Inhale to the left, and up. Now straighten the right leg. Keep the knees locked so they're squeezing together. To the right, and up. Inhale. The left, up. One more time to the right, and the left. Coming up to the midline, just switch the legs, keeping legs still locked together. To the right, and up. The left, and up. One more time to the right, and the left. Now it gets to the fun part. So legs are together. You want the legs as straight as possible. If it's too much today, you can slightly take a bend in the knees. Try to keep them as straight as possible, as close together as possible. Drop over to the right and up. So really using the obliques, every part of our core. Again to the right and up. The left and up. Now big wide circles. Use your hands to stabilize yourself. Lower, so nice wide circles around. To the right again. Breathe. Come up to center, switch directions, over to the left. One more time. Good, and then slowly lower. Hug the knees into the chest. Notice the body temperature, even just those simple little moves. It's got the blood flowing, huh? So just kind of rock along the lower back, giving yourself a little back massage. Hands place on the knees and just kind of do some hip rotations. One direction and the other. Good, and then rock up and down a few times, just rounding the spine. And then come all the way up. And drop to the forearms. Hands are in line with the elbows. Straighten out the legs. So you're in a plank on the elbows. If it's too much, option is to bend the knees and drop to the knees. Keep reaching through the heels. Broaden through the shoulders. Rolling the pubis bone forward. Breathe. And then bend the right knee. Straighten. So we're just kind of walking it out, keeping the hips level, keeping the upper body level. Nothing's moving but your legs. You're going to feel it work in that core. Fast. Breathe. 2 more on either side. Good. Take a break. Lift the hips. Walk the toes in for a down dog on the forearms. So your head isn't close to the floor. Keep reaching out of the shoulders, pushing back. Drop the head, sink the heels. Keep lifting the hips up and back for one more breath. Good, and then walk the toes out again. Coming into that plank on the forearms. Keeping the legs, the feet together, roll over to the right. So you're just gonna drop the hips to the right and then pop up. To the left, up, right, left, right. Keep that breathing. Left. 2 more on either side. Stay with me. Pop it up. Keep rolling the shoulders back to the left. Last time. The left. Good. Come to stillness. Drop to the knees. Let's take a little break. Push the hips towards the heels for a nice child's pose. See if you can lengthen the spine. Keep reaching through the fingertips as you soften the shoulders. Good, and then come up onto all fours. Right hand under the nose, left arm up, setting up a nice twist, open up the chest, and thread the left hand behind the right wrist. You want your left shoulder over onto the right side of your mat. So the more you kind of shift over to that side, you'll have more space to twist. So the back of the head is reaching on the floor. Right hand can stay where it is, can reach forward or wrap around. Breathe. Keep pulling the left hip over. So the tendency is that we have so much weight in the right knee. See if you can keep that left knee grounded. One more breath. Good, unwind. Use your right hand, bring yourself up. Other side, left hand down, right arm up, opening up the chest. And thread the right hand. Kind of bring it way over to the left side of your mat. Again, left hand can reach forward or wrap. Working the back of the head down. Again, check in with that right knee. See if you can shift your hips over. One more breath. Good. Unwind, use your left hand to bring yourself up. And let's tuck the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. And just kind of settle in. It's probably the first down dog of your day, so if you need to kind of walk it out, maybe pedal out the feet or lift one leg at a time. Just kind of finding whatever you need in your first down dog. Snap, crackle, pop, if you're like me. Breathe. You know, someone's asked me that before, if cracking's a bad thing, and it's just your body adjusting itself. Chiropractors get a lot of money for things we yogis can do ourselves, right? So enjoy it. I know I'm healthy in my yoga practice. Go ahead and shift forward to plank when my body adjusts itself a lot. Sometimes I'll take 3, 4, 5 days off from a trip or just whatever, busy schedule, who knows. Sometimes it happens, and I always notice it, and I can feel it. My body doesn't adjust itself as quickly. It's so interesting. So staying in plank, keep broadening through the shoulders, and then just keep your arms straight and just roll over the tops of the feet, sink the hips for upward facing dog. Keep pulling the shoulders back, using this as a way to stretch out the abs that we just worked. See if you can just kind of float your hips. So if it's okay on your lower back, it's just the tops of your feet and your hands that are touching the mat. If it's too much, of course, you can drop to your knees, but see if you can make it about that. Breathe. And then tuck the chin in towards the chest, back to plank. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips back for downward facing dog. Lock the hands to the feet, coming to the back of the mat. Keep the knees soft. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Coming up to standing. Lower the hands, Tadasana. Heel toe the feet together. Big toes and heels touch. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale, chair. So weights in the heels, getting lower through those hips. This is a core move as well. So if you can you pull the front ribs in? Kind of tuck your tail. The more you do that, the more you're going to feel that core engaged. Get a little lower through the hips, working the knees back. Keep rolling the pubis bone forward. Friendly eyes. One more breath, get a little bit lower. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, walk it out to plank. Reach the right foot up, just 2 inches off the floor. Keep reaching back through that left heel, squeezing inner thighs together. Slowly transition back to that one leg down dog. Breathe. Keep sinking the left heel. Good, knee into the nose, shoulders forward. So again, a core move. The higher you lift that leg, the heel in, the more you're going to feel your core turn on. Inhale, open up the hip. Let this feel good. Stretching out the hip, sinking the left heel. Good, and then right knee to the right tricep. Hover, hold. See if you can hover that knee. Get higher. Maybe you don't even touch it on the arm. That's harder. Good, inhale up. Exhale, right knee to the left tricep. See if you can not even touch it on the elbow. Just hover it. Get closer to the armpit. Good, inhale up. Sink the left heel. And then one last time, right knee into the nose. Now the fun part. Bring the knee to the right shoulder, right wrist, left shoulder. One more time. Right wrist, left shoulder or armpit, and then back to center. Lunge the right foot in between the hands. Lower the left knee, and if you're like me, you breathe the whole time. You don't forget about that. Oops. So make sure that front ankle is under the front knee. Left arm up. So using this as a hip opener, keep getting lower, lunging through the hips, and then hook the elbow to the knee, setting up a twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Keep pulling the right hip back, working the hands to the center of the chest. Now notice how the hips kind of want to automatically pop up. See if you can keep bending the right knee. So you're still low through those hips. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Last one, inhale. Good, unwind. Hands to either side of the foot. Lift the back knee. Left foot up to the ceiling for standing split. Again, another nice hip opener. Just let the hips open up. So sometimes we play with the open or closed hip. See if you can just keep stacking left hip on top of right. Let your head hang. Good, and then left foot to right, top of the mat. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, ground the palms, walk or jump back. Chaturanga this time. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Lift the left leg. Squeezing the inner thighs together, reaching back through that right heel. Slowly transition back, one leg down dog with the hips level. So don't quite open up those hips yet. Keep sinking the right heel. Use this as a way to stretch out the outer right hip by lengthening so much through that left leg. Good, knee into the nose, shoulders forward, hover. Get the knee higher up, the heel higher up. Good, and then open up that hip, let that feel good this time. Sink the right heel, work both legs as straight as possible. And then left knee to the left tricep. Again, see if you can just hover that knee. Doesn't even have to touch. Good, inhale up. Exhale, left knee to right tricep for that twist. Hovering the knee. Inhale up. Now the fun part. Left knee forward. Bring the left knee to the left shoulder, the left wrist, the right shoulder or armpit. One more time to the left wrist, hover right wrist, get that knee high up, back into the center, and then left foot in between the hands. Lower that back knee, and get low through the hips. So you want your back knee quite a bit back so that you're nice and low into the hips. Right arm up, lengthen, and then hook the elbow to the knee. Palms come together. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Shoulders drawing down the back. Keep getting lower through those hips, pulling the left hip back. One more breath, inhale. Good, unwind, hands to either side of the foot, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. Right leg up to the ceiling for standing split. Again, opening up that hip, maybe wrapping the left hand around the left calf. Neck is soft. Lift a little higher. And then right foot to left, top of the mat. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, ground the palms, walk or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back. Breathe. Walk the hands to the feet, coming to the back of the mat. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Keep the knees soft. Grab opposite elbow. Rock a little side to side. Just kind of letting go of the upper body. Release the arms. And slowly letting the head be the last thing to roll up. Come up to standing. Good. Heel toe the feet together. Palms facing forward. Bend the knees, sweep the arms. Inhale, chair. Good. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Walk it out to plank. Stacking shoulders over the wrist. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. Pause here. Keep sinking those hips, pulling the shoulders back. Opening up the chest, opening up the abs, the front body. Gaze over to the right. Now that left shoulder wants to kind of roll forward. See if you can keep resisting that, pulling it back. Back to center and to the left. Same thing with that right shoulder. Back to center, gaze over to the right. This time your hips can kind of roll. Just getting into the oblique, stretching out the side. Back to center and over to the right. Good, back to center. Plank. Down dog. Lift the right leg, open up that hip, and then lunge the right foot in between the hands, turn the back heel in, warrior one. So nice wide stance, pulling the right hip back, getting low. Open up, warrior two. Good, get a little bit lower through the front leg. And then right elbow to the inside of the knee, left arm up. Get lower through those hips, lifting the left inner thigh. Bring the hand behind the back, the neck, and then pull that left elbow back. See if that can get into the shoulder, the sideways. Wherever you feel it is exactly where you need it today. It's all good. One more. Good. Release the left arm up. And then lower both hands to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe the right foot up and spin the back heel up. Setting up your lizard. You can lower the back knee, but I'm going to encourage you to not do that today. So we're going to hold the poses longer. We're going to have some nice restorative hip openers. So see if you can use this as a way to turn on those hips, to squeeze, to keep lifting that left knee. If you have space, you can drop to the forearms. Breathe. Keep grounding the right big toe. Keep pulling the right sitting bone back and see if you can pull, almost like you're trying to drag your body across your mat. I just pictured a cat. You know how cats try to... Sorry. Got to keep a sense of humor, right, guys? Good. One more breath. Good. Now lower the back knee. Open up the front knee to the right. Kind of get into those hips, maybe add a little twist. Good, and then release. Bring the right knee into the center. So hands are on either side of that front foot. Lift the back knee. Keep the shoulders stacked, so you're pushing down to get that cobra hood, creating space in between your hands and your chest so you can just lift the right heel up without moving. Breathe. Control. Get higher up into that leg. See if you can shift it forward a bit. Good, now bring the right foot over behind the left wrist. Nice core strengthener. So it's a twisting plank. What you want to do is pull that right hip back. So your hip stay level to the mat. If this is easy today, you can bring the left hand to the right wrist. You're going to feel it in a whole different part of your oblique. Breathe, stay calm. Stay on the outer edge of your right foot. Take a look, make sure that back foot is grounded. You're not rolling to one side or the other. The heel is reaching towards the ceiling. One more breath. Good. Release the wrist and lower the right hip all the way down. So your legs want to be as straight as possible. Keep tucking the back toes under, dropping that left hip. You can stay here, or you can walk the hands forward, or adding a twist. Left hand behind the right elbow. Maybe dropping the right, the left ear down. Keep rolling the left hip down. Shoulders stay soft. Breathe, keep reaching through both heels for one more breath. Good. Slowly unwind. Walk the hands in so they're under the shoulders, lift the hips, back into that twisting plank, and then right into pigeon. So a nice hip opener after that strength builder. So take a look, make sure you can, if you have more space today, you can bring that right heel forward. Walk the hands in, kind of get a little stretch through the core that we've been working, and then slowly walk it forward. Breathe. See if you can settle into those hips, surrender. And staying here, just keeping your forehead down, keeping your focus on the breathing. So I know for me, one of the hardest things to do is slow down. So in poses like this, where I'm forced to stay still, where I'm forced to stay here longer than I probably want to, that's when the to-do list starts to pop up. I start thinking about what's next. I start thinking about what emails I have to return. I mean, we're all guilty of it. It's monkey chatter. However it shows up, it's what we have to cook for dinner. It's who we have to pick up after school. You know, it's constant. So see if you can, of course, it's always going to come up, but it's our job to try to surrender to that, knowing that, trusting that the to-do list will be there as soon as we get out of our practice, and now is the time to take care of ourselves, our body, our mind, and stay fully present. That's a task in itself, just to be here in this moment, feeling and breathing. I find that focusing on the breath is the one tool, the one way that really, really helps keep me focused, at least. So see if you can do that. Keep breathing. Keep focusing on just lengthening that inhale and exhale. See if you can create a little bit more space in between those legs. One last breath here. Lengthen forward. Good, and then slowly walk the hands in. Reach back, and this time lift the right leg up, opening up the hip. Bring the knee into the nose, shoulders forward. Good, and then keep the shoulders forward and straighten the right leg. Move through a one leg or two leg vinyasa. It's up to you if you want to float that right foot all the way through your vinyasa. Open up the hip again, and then knee into the nose one last time. Now listen carefully. So bring the right foot to the outside of your left foot. Squeezing the inner thighs together, lift the hips back for a twisting down dog. So by straightening the right leg and grounding through the right heel, it helps to self-assist that left leg. Should be a really nice stretch in that left calf, hamstring. See if you can push into the right leg more to get into the left leg deeper. One more breath. Good. Unwind the legs. Just kind of pedal out in your down dog. And lift the left leg. Open up that hip. And then left foot in between the hands. Right heel in. Warrior one. Getting nice and low into that left side, pulling the left hip back, the right hip forward. Get lower. And then open up, warrior two. Nice open hips, tucking the tail, shoulders drawing down. Left elbow to the inside of the left knee, right arm up. Get lower through those legs, lifting the right inner thigh. So the more you kind of peel the right inner thigh forward and up, you're gonna feel it in that right hip more. Release the hand to the nape of the neck and just kind of open up that right elbow. Breathe. Good, and then release the right arm. Lower both hands to the inside of the left foot. Heel toe the left foot out and spin the back heel up. Again, we're keeping that knee lifted because it's more of an action pose right now. So keep grounding the left big toe, and if you have space, drop to your elbows. If you find you go to your elbows and that left knee is whoop, out to the side, then you know you've gone too far. You know it's not for you today. So just keep the left knee close into that shoulder wherever you're at. The back knee is lifted. Squeezing the quadricep, reaching back through that right heel. One more. Good. Now, lower the back knee. Roll to the outside edge of the left foot. You can come up onto the hands, maybe stay onto the right elbow, and just kind of self-assist that knee out. Start to spin the chest up. Shoulders drawing down the back. Good. Release. Bring that left knee back in. And then bring the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. So again, you're broadening through those shoulders, staying strong. Can you just lift the left heel? Nothing else moves. Knee into the nose. Good, and then straighten the left leg behind the right wrist. So you're on the outside of that left foot in that twisting plank. So that you can see my hips want to go towards the right. The work here is to pull that left hip back. So my hips stay square to the mat. As soon as you learn how to do that, oh yeah, there goes that oblique. So enjoy this strength builder. Again, if you want a little more, we did it last time, so I've got to do it. Keeping that balance. Right hand to the left wrist. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together, staying strong through the core, pulling that left hip back so the right hip drops. One more breath. Good. Release the wrist and lower the left hip all the way down. Keep the back toes tucked under to drop that right hip. Again, you may stay here, you may walk it forward, or add the twist, right hand behind the left elbow. Dropping your right ear down. See if you can soften the shoulders. Keep rolling the right hip towards the floor. One more breath. Good. Slowly unwind and walk the hands back in. Good. Lift the hips for that twisting plank again. Good. And then bring the knee into the nose. Keep the shoulders forward. Straighten that left leg. Chaturanga down. One leg or two leg vinyasa. Opening up that left hip. And then knee into the nose again. Shoulders forward. And bring the left foot to the outside of the right foot. Working to ground the left heel and straighten that left leg. By focusing on the left leg, then the right leg is going to get the benefits. Keep squeezing inner thighs together, lifting those hips up higher. One more. Good. Release. Uncross the legs and just kind of pedal out the feet in your down dog. Come high up onto all 10 toes, sinking the heels. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back. Good. Look in between the thumbs. Bring the right knee in between the hands. The left knee follows. Separate the feet and come into Gomukhasana. So this is a deep hip opener. If you have tight hips and you're just not feeling like this is doing anything for you and it's difficult to stay upright, you can take it on your back. You guys know this hip opener, getting into the hips that way. Or if you have a block or some kind of small stool or something, you can elevate your hips, and that might make it accessible too. So people say, I love it when I talk about yoga with people that have never done it before. They say, oh, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. Well, that's the very point. None of us are naturally, well, some of us are naturally flexible, but I know I am certainly not one of those people. I have to work to get into these poses. I have to work my muscles and continue to create that muscle memory so that I can get into poses like this. So keep working it. And know that if you're not one of those naturally flexible people, it's okay. Yoga is still for you. Yoga is for everybody. It's just the matter of knowing how to modify and knowing how to do the things that you can do. So this should be a really nice hip opener, getting into those outer hips now. Take a look, make sure the heels are equally from either side of the hips. So usually one is closer than the other, and really the work is to stack the knees on top of one another and make sure the heels are equal on both sides. So you should have a couple inches on either side if in an ideal world, that's where you're going. If you still need a little more, you can fold forward. Now, right when you fold forward, you may, just like I felt myself, pop that right hip up. What you want to do is keep your sitting bones grounded so those hips still stay down. And that's how you're really going to get into that hip even deeper. Soften the torso, the face. Now, this certainly isn't an easy pose to hold for a long time. So I know as it gets more challenging by holding it longer, things start to tense up, things I didn't even realize. I certainly don't need to tense up, but the face, the abs, the toes, the fingers, all funny little places start to kind of tense up, and it's up to me to be aware to see how I can continue to soften those places. So let's stay here for one more breath. Inhale. Good. Slowly come on up, not rushing out of it, keeping your composure. Now, don't overthink this. All you're going to do, keep your feet where they are. Do not move your feet. If you move your feet, it's all over. So keep your feet where they are. You're just going to roll forward, lift your hips, walk the hands all the way over to the left, all the way over. Don't uncross your legs. Don't do anything with them. Come all the way back to the center of the mat, and the other knee should be on the other side. Fun little mind trick. Ha! Don't overthink it. If you did, you're screwed. But so the ideal world is the left knee's on top, okay? Getting into the other place. Again, if this isn't happening, you roll onto your back, you elevate those hips, whatever you got to do. Take a look. If you're here with me, you're making sure that the heels are equal distance. So try to get that left knee on top of the right. Maybe staying upright is where you are today, that the hips are screaming and you don't need anything more. You'll know. You'll know as soon as you start to fold forward if that's too much. So check in with your body, listen, knowing that each and every day it's different. And doing what feels right and how you can keep your composure. So often I know in my own practice, I'll go right into something that I think I can do or something that I did yesterday or last week or whatever, and I know that immediately that actually adds tension because I'm just not that open today. So I rushed into it, now I'm tensing up, and that's the very thing I want to avoid. So I have to back out, I have to listen, I have to maybe do a little less on those days. So check in, notice what you need. Keep rolling that left hip down. If you did walk it forward and it did start to pop up, see if you can keep that left hip grounded. One more breath. Good. Slowly walk the hands in, just for fun. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Keep the feet as they are. Walk all the way around, all the way around. And then jump the legs back. Vinyasa. Inhale up. And exhale back. Turn the right heel in, lunge the left foot forward, and walk the hands to the center of the mat. Heels out, toes in. Inhale, look out, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Start to walk the hands back in line with those feet. Keep grounding the outer edges of the feet. So if you do this properly, you're hopefully feeling it in those outer shins. Should be a really nice stretch. Keep working the crown of the head towards the floor. Lengthening the spine, pulling your torso through those legs. One more breath. Good. Walk the hands forward. Bend the right knee. Try to keep that right heel down. Walk the hands over and lift the left toes. So your hips are sinking. You want your chest lifted. That right elbow is helpful on the inside of the knee to help push that knee out. Hands can come together if that's comfortable, or you can wrap around the right shin. Keep pulling the left shoulder back, opening up the chest. Good one. Back to center. As low and slow as possible, switch to the other side. I call this Mission Impossible pose. Lift the right toes, sink those hips, shoulders back, pulling that left knee out. Again, you can just stay light on your hands, maybe hands to namaste, or wrap and bind. Open up the chest if you're binding. Good, release. Back to center, as low and slow as possible, just for fun. Squeeze the inner thighs, rock over to the right, lift the left toes, lift the chest, and one more time over to the left. Good, and now just lower to the sitting bones and bring the left foot to the right inner thigh. So setting up Janushirshasana, peel the flesh away from that right hip, inhale, both arms up, square the torso over that straight leg, so pulling your right ribs back. Fold over the straight leg. So this is getting into the lower back, still getting into those hips that we're working. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale up and just switch legs. Peel the flesh away from that left hip. Inhale, arms up, square the torso over the straight leg, and fold forward. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Good. Inhale up. Straighten out the right leg. If you have to adjust yourself because the floor is too hard or you need some cushion under your heels, go ahead and get onto your mat. And then both legs are straight, so we're coming into a straddle split. This is one of those ones I like to avoid in my own practice, so that's one that I know I need. So kind of get the butt cheeks out of the way, kind of pull them back if you can. And then flex the feet, legs are still active. You're rolling the kneecaps back, lifting up, getting taller through your torso, and then just walk it forward. If anything is gonna touch the floor, it's going to be your stomach before anything else. So oftentimes we kind of try to get here and we feel like we're going somewhere, but really we're not. So see if you can think about, I always like to explain it like our pelvis is a bowl tipping forward. So can you kind of hinge at the hips and fold? So you're kind of just tipping over, and then your keeping the back straight. I know, forearms is good. That's plenty. That's all I'm going today. Keep rolling those toes back, opening up the inner thighs. You can kind of roll your hips back and then kind of pull your sternum, that chest bone, forward. And you'll feel it in those inner thighs the more you learn how to kind of counter that and work that dual action. One more breath. Good. Slowly walk the hands in. Now bring the right shoulder to the inside of the right knee, left arm up and over. Now right there, you may be able to see my left hip is popped up. I can feel it. So that's okay, but I know I'm gonna feel it more in my waist if I try to keep that left hip down. So wherever you're at, try to keep that left sitting bone down. Sometimes it helps if you can get your dog to sit there or use your right hand to keep that hip down. And then spin the chest up. Keep pulling the left elbow back. Really nice side opener. And you're working the right shoulder to the inside of the knee. You can hold that outside of the right foot if you can go there today. Maybe a strap, something. One more breath. Good. Inhale up. Both arms up, lengthen, and then over to the other side. So left shoulder to the inside of the left knee, right arm up. Again, that right hip, whoop, pops up. See if you can try to keep that right hip down. Grab the outside of the left foot if you can. Spin up. One more breath. Good. Inhale up. Now, flex the feet so much that your heels come up off the mat. Left hand in front of the hips. Right hand just outside of that right quadricep. So first option, you're gonna keep lifting your heels. They may have to go down so you can lift your hips. Stay light in your feet, maybe play with lifting one foot or both and kind of teeter-totter. Or can you engage your legs so much that you're able to lift everything just for a few seconds? So try. Lift. And just keep breathing next time. And if you got a little hip cramp like I somehow do, rock it out and we'll go to the other side. So right hand in front, flex those feet. Heels are lifted, legs are engaged. Again, first option, you just stay light in your feet and lift your hips. It's gonna get that same action, you're still gonna get into the core. If you can, lift everything. Breathe. Good, lower. Check it. I don't know when that hip, I don't know what it's cramp. I don't know if that ever stops, but anyway. Roll over the knees. Let's move through a Vinyasa Chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back. Good. Look between the hands. Walk or jump all the way through, coming to seated. Peel the flesh away from the sitting bones. Hands next to the hips. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Keep working the stomach over those legs, softening the chest, the shoulders. And just keep looking at your navel. So there's no need to look at your feet because then you're cramping up the back of the neck. So just keep the back of the neck long. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Good. Inhale up. Keep the legs heavy, palms face each other, retract those shoulders back, keep lifting up. And then tuck the tail and slowly start to roll onto your mat, slow. Right before you get halfway, lift up an inch. Down, up. Keep those feet heavy. One more, open up the chest. Slowly lower. Right before you touch the floor, pause. This is the one that really sucks. Lift up. It's all about how you look at it, right? Shame on me. Lower down and up. Keep breathing. Good, and then come all the way down. Hug the knees into the chest, rock a little side to side. Just getting a nice happy baby. So grab the outside edges of the feet, keep the ankles over the knees, draw the knees into the armpits, and try to keep the lower back down. So it wants to pop up, so you're kind of rounding the tail. I want you to try to keep that lower back. Your hips are heavy. You may stay here or start to rock side to side. Good. And then release the feet, lower the feet onto the mat. Feet are hip width apart and lift the hips for a nice bridge. You can interlace the hands behind the back. Keep grounding through the big toes, working the knees together. Keep lifting those hips and bring the chin away from the chest. Good. Slowly lower. And prepare for one more. Same thing. Bridge, or if you want, you can bring the hands under the shoulders and come up to wheel. So, whichever one you're at, lift the hips. Keep breathing. Good, and tuck the chin, lower the shoulders, the mid-back, lower back. We'll all meet in Supta Dandasana. Both legs are straight up in the air, feet are flexed, hands next to the hips. If you have any neck issues or anything, and you don't want to do this inversion, just leave it out. This is an inversion, so your feet can stay over your hips. If you want the inversion, go ahead without momentum. So there's no swinging your legs, just kind of use your core and roll the hips forward, up over your head, bringing your feet close to the floor. They may not touch today, it's okay. See if you can listen. Don't try to look at the camera. If you're not sure what you're doing, then just watch me and then you can meet me in it. So your hands will come to the lower back and then lift your legs up. You want to try to get your elbows closer together, and by doing that, you'll feel more length through the hips. And right here, if this feels good, all the pressure's in your shoulders. It's a shoulder stand, not a neck stand. So make sure your neck is safe. Then you can cross your ankles. You can open up the legs. You can maybe do a little helicopter legs, getting into those hips still. Breathe, whatever feels good today. If it doesn't feel good, please don't do it. We're staying in the inversion for 3 more breaths, knowing that an inversion is so good for our metabolism, getting all that blood that's been stuck in our feet for most of our day circulated throughout the rest of our body. 1 more breath. Good, and then slowly start to lower the feet over the head, backing out of it. You can touch the floor or just come as close as possible. If you always tuck your toes under, maybe you start to point your feet. Maybe you start to bend the knees, bringing the knees into ear pressure pose. You can interlace the hands like I've done, just for a nice little shoulder opener if you want that. Keep breathing. Good, and then release the hands. Use your hands pushing into the mat to slowly unroll. Your legs stay close to the torso. When you feel the weight shift into your legs, lift your chest for a forward fold. Good, and then inhale up and slowly roll down. Just a nice reclining twist to close our practice. So bring the right knee into the chest, release the right hand out, and twist it across the body over to the left. Just literally wringing out the spine. Good. Back to center and just switch. Hug the left knee in and twist across. Gazes over to the left. Good, back to center. Feet flop out, palms fall open, eyes are closed. Towel, shirt over your eyes perhaps. And just take the last few minutes just to fidget, whatever you need to do, so that you can just be still for a few moments. And just be quiet. Knowing that this is when the to-do list really pops up. It's okay, it's totally natural, it's not a big deal. If those thoughts come in, just acknowledge them, let them float away. If they're still popping up, no big deal, but can you stay calm? Can you stay still, even if that monkey chatter's still going? It's all good, at least you have stillness somewhere, physically, maybe today. Just allow the belly, the chest to naturally rise and fall. And you guys always know you can stay here as long as you want. I would encourage you to do so. If you're on to the next thing, then go ahead and bring some movement back just by wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, rocking the head from side to side. Hug the knees in. However you like to just kind of bring some movement back into the body. And then meeting in a comfortable seated position. Just sealing your practice with a moment of gratitude, thanking yourself for rolling out your mat today, maintaining the discipline for this practice. I thank each one of you for always tuning in, always joining me, allowing me to practice with you. May we create this peace, this stillness we find on our mats and share it with those around us. Thank you as always. Have a beautiful, blessed day. See you next week. Namaste.